To talk about this and some other economic news, joining me now, accounting professor at Montclair State University, Dan Geltrude. Dan, good to see you. Thanks for being with me today.
Hey, Bianca.
What a devastating story, especially because not only are people possibly not even back to Florida, the snowbirds, they may not even know what their damage is, Dan, but NewsMax.com has a piece on Florida's property insurance market that's already sort of been in peril. There's been skyrocketing premiums. More than a dozen companies have stopped writing new policies in the state. Others are closing shop. Give us some advice, please, if folks do need to get some insurance for their damage.
Yeah, this is a really tough situation because when you have natural disasters on a mass scale, such as, a Category 4 hurricane hitting, you're going to have so much damage and the costs are going to be billions upon billions. You have insurance companies that get put in a situation where they simply can't cover it all. So what happens? Well, in certain situations, you could have lack of coverage. You could actually have no coverage because the insurance carrier goes bankrupt. Now, this is not an easy problem to solve because the more natural disasters on a mass scale that you have, the higher premiums have to go to replenish the ability to pay out. And the more natural disasters we're having, we're eating into those funds. So people have to be very, very careful in who their insurance coverage is with. And unfortunately, you may have a situation where the federal government may have to come in over the Florida state government in order to help people out in some way.
Wow. Well, we hope that cooperation happens. Obviously, we just saw President Biden at FEMA saying that they will be helping, and we know people need to rebuild because a lot of people right now, they can't even afford groceries, Dan. They can't even afford gas. There's a new study talking about people are trying to find a second job. This survey found that 69% of Americans say they're looking for extra work just to make ends meet. Do we all need a side hustle right now? What's your advice to people?
Yeah, many do. Look, part of this goes from the great resignation to the great regret. People who thought that they were in okay financial shape just a couple of years ago have found out that the world is a very different place right now. Why? We have extraordinary levels of inflation. You have the stock market and various investments truly taking a beating. So people are looking at their retirement plans, their 401k plans, and saying, well, wait a minute, I can't live off of that. I have a big problem. So it's forcing many people back into the workforce and getting second jobs and even third jobs in order to make ends meet. And there's not a lot that you can do here, Bianca. I mean, people need money. They can't pay their bills. They got to find a way to bridge that gap.
Yeah, they sure do. And we mentioned people not getting scammed. So if you want to donate, you got to be super careful with these GoFundMe sites. Just 10 seconds, Dan. What's your advice if people want to help, hurricane victims?
Yeah, be very, very careful there. Make sure that you're donating to a charity that is well known, such as the Red Cross. If it doesn't seem right to you, it probably isn't. So be very careful.
Samaritan's Purse, also a great one we know you can support with full confidence. We're going to leave it there. Dan Geltrude, always great to have you in. It is excellent money advice. Appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Bianca.
All right, we'll see you.